Today we're running a messages campaign. This is one of the campaigns that you really need to hang in there with me for. We're going to go through the entire setup so you see exactly how it happens, but at the same time understand that there's going to be some small details that can cause a little bit of frustration. So I'm going to stop in certain aspects and really drill down the points that can cause some mishaps, but at any point you can always comment down below and I'll do my best to address every single question that comes up. So this one in the conversions ads, these are the types of campaigns that typically give us the most trouble because either we're not formatting something right, maybe we didn't set something up, or we expected to set something up a certain way, but it just didn't come out the way that we thought, what have you. So we're gonna go right through this. So let me share my screen and we're gonna get going. So again, this is the messages ads. As a reminder, to get to this screen, all you have to do is go to business.facebook.com/ads manager and you are here. So business.facebook.com/ads manager and you're right at this screen. So we're gonna get right to it. So we're gonna hit create. Once we hit create, we're gonna be met with the 11 campaign objectives. So as a reminder, we have the awareness campaigns, consideration campaigns, and conversion campaigns. So it just seems that this one right here, the messages campaign, which is what we're doing today, gives us the most trouble. So, and we're gonna do a really good job of breaking it down to its most simplistic form so we can get one launched immediately. And this conversions campaign, which I have several videos on the conversions campaign already, so I'm gonna invite you to check those out. It just seems that those two kind of give us a little bit of frustration. So wanted to make sure that we address this particular campaign objective the best way that we could. So we're gonna go to messages. Not gonna worry about this. This is essentially naming it ahead of time. We're not gonna worry about that. So I'm gonna hit continue. We're not worried about the name right now. I'm more interested in you understanding the functionality, but as a reminder, the naming convention that I take is I identify the campaign first. So in this instance, I would go with messages, or actually I'll do the first one and then I'll let you do the rest. So I do message first. That's the type of campaign that I'm running. And then I would put the ad set name if I was only gonna run one ad set. So I would put the ad set name right there. And then I would put the type of ad. That's what I would do. But again, I'm not going to worry about the naming convention right now. If I'm running an ad in the special ad category, in this example, we'll go ahead and do it because it has the most restrictions. Meaning if you're running credit, employment, housing, or social issues, elections, or politics, anything that has to do with those items, you have to select that you're running an ad within the special ad category. No way around it. So we're going to select housing because again, it has the most restrictions, and this way you get to appreciate all of the different options that you have or don't have when you are under the special ad category. So let's continue. We're not going to worry about A/B testing. I do that manually. If you watched this channel before, you see how I do split testing. So I won't bore you with that. Campaign budget optimization. That means that if I wanted to select the budget from right here, regardless of how many ad sets, regardless of how many ads, this is what I would spend on the entire campaign. So if I toggle that on, what that's going to do for us is going to ask us, hey, how much do you want to spend per day or for the entire lifetime? And then we'll allocate it regardless of how many ad sets you have. So different targeting, and regardless of how many ads you want to run. That's what that means. So I'm not going to bother with that today, but just understand that that's what that means. And honestly, I don't even like doing it this way. I prefer to set individual budgets at the ad set level, and you're going to see that shortly. Hit next. All right, so here we go. Ad set name again. So I would really repeat the same thing. The type of campaign, the ad set, which is basically the targeting, and then the type of ad that I'm running. So I would rename it right there. Ad type, choose the type of ad you want to run. So click to message or a sponsored message. So ads that click to message start new conversations. Sponsored messages re-engage existing connections. So that explains it. That explains it so much better than I could. So I'll just let you reread that again. Ads that click to message start new conversations. So that's what we're doing right now. Sponsored message re-engages existing connections. So we are after starting new conversations. We're gonna leave it on Messenger because this is the type of ad that we're running. And then we're going to select the Facebook page. There's something unique that has changed recently. So I'm going to show you at the ad level what this is, what unique change I'm referencing to, but you do select the page that you're running your ad from. So this is something very important. So remember, this is where, you know, where it says the Facebook business page name, and then below it you see sponsored. Well, this is what we're selecting. We're selecting the business page that people are going to see. And then you're going to see a different option that doesn't occur on any other types of campaigns. The daily budget, we're just going to leave it at 20. We're not too concerned about running this real time. Now, one of the questions that does come up on, hey, can I set this up on a certain ad schedule? So I want to run these ads from Monday through Friday. Well, you can. So the big difference is, you kind of saw me fumble through that right there. Instead of a daily budget, you have to select a lifetime budget, and then you can select when you want the ads to run. So I'm going to take this off because I'm not too concerned about that, but that's how you do it. That's how you select when to turn on your ads and when to turn them off, so you don't have to remember, oh, it's 8 a.m. I have to turn on the ads. Oh, it's 5 p.m. Now I have to go turn it off. That's how you get to do that. So a lot of people miss that. So, and it's understandable because it just says show more options, and you kind of go right through it. The audiences, this is you selecting who you want to see your ads. Now we get into the geography. Now we get into the demographics. Now we get into the placement. So this is where we're selecting, hey, where are our ads going to show up? And we're not going to worry about custom audiences. We're not going to worry about lookalike audiences. But in short, a custom audience is one that you bring to the table, so you can upload your customer database. You can retarget people that have gone to your website. You can retarget people that have engaged with your messages. You can retarget a ton of people. But again, we're not going to worry about that too much today. We're going to market to people who are living in a certain location. So for our purposes today, we're going to go over to Orlando. I have a lot of real estate agents out in Florida, so a huge shout out to the Agent First group out in, actually all over the world at this point, but for our purposes specifically out in Florida. So that's where a good amount of my agents actually are out of. Since we selected an ad within the special ad category, we selected housing, we cannot change anything that has to do with ages. We cannot do anything that has to do with gender, and we cannot do anything that has to do with demographics or behaviors. We can only target based off of interest. So when we go here, if somebody is interested in Zillow as an example, we would wait for the internet connection to catch up with us, and we would hit Zillow. And you kind of saw that potential reach drop. So you saw go from 1.5 million down to, what was it, 280? There you go. That's the potential reach. Now, don't worry about this estimated daily results. That's going to be wrong 100% out of 100% time. Well, 10 out of 10 times. There we go, 100%. So it's not going to be too much of a concern. Now, if you want to narrow the audience, if you think, well, 280 is too much, I don't have the budget to really speak to all those people, well, no problem. Just narrow down the audience, go down to Trulia right here, and you're going to see that go down by more than half. So that's what you can do to really hone in on the audience, because typically the people that are interested in Zillow and are also typically interested in Trulia, I am having a hard time speaking, folks. Sorry about that. Trulia, then it means that they have a interest in real estate more than the hobbyist, if you will. Now we get to placements. So placements means where you want your ad to show up in relation to Instagram, in relation to Facebook, in relation to partner websites. So if I select manual placements, you're going to see everywhere this ad could potentially run. Now, one quick note, this is a messages ad. This doesn't mean that it's going to only run in the messenger side. So in the DMs, this is a common misconception. You can, so you see messenger stories right here, you can advertise it there, but that's not the only place that you have to. You can advertise it in the news feed, as you see here. You can advertise it in the Instagram feed. So with the messages campaign, this is one of those rare occasions where I let the automatic placements run. You see, if you've seen any of my other videos, you see that if I run a traffic campaign, a conversion campaign, I kind of let it ride. I let it ride because what we're doing right now is just starting different conversations. I'm not going to be interested in collecting data or them becoming a lead. I'll show you how to do that once we get to the screen, but this is one of those rare instances where I kind of just leave it at automatic placements because you see everywhere that it's going to show up. It's going to show up on the Facebook, the Instagram, feeds, the stories, everywhere else that you can think of. So you see in article, apps. So it's a robust reach. So again, this is one of those rare instances where I actually leave placements as it is. I don't worry about optimization for ad delivery. That's not a concern of mine. Let me rephrase that. That is a concern of mine way down the road after I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars or tens of thousands of dollars, and I know how much I can control the bid. Right now, I can't because we're just advertising to a market that we don't have defined numbers for at the moment. So we're going over to the ad now. So you see the identity. We have the page. Now I can connect an Instagram account here. I'm not going to because it's my demo account, but I would connect my Instagram account. And now we have the same options where we can use an existing post, which is very equivalent to the, the engagement campaign. I believe it's what it's called. It's the engagement campaign over on the objectives campaign or campaign objectives. But we're going to leave it at the create an ad, and we can select a single image or a video or a carousel. So carousel is multi-cards. So you see this card right here, this card right here. So you can select individual headlines with individual descriptions to make it a bit more engaging. So if you're in the real estate space, what I suggest there is that type of campaign, the carousel campaign, or the format more accurate, is good for new construction because you can highlight different aspects or different models of the community. But for our purposes today, we're going to leave it under single image, and we're just going to add an image to illustrate what a completed ad can look like for you. So we're going to leave it at that. Alrighty, so you see what it's all going to look like, and you can get previews of all of this if you click there. We're not going to do that right now, so let's just say just listed in Dallas, and then we can say something to the effect of brand new roof with stainless steel appliances. Click learn more for photos, price, location, and virtual tour. So what I just shared with you right here is this is the just listed ad. So just listed in Dallas. So we would say just listed home in Dallas. And then I'm highlighting unique aspects to this property. So if this was by the lake, then I would put this by the lake. If this had a brand new roof, which in this example it does. Again, it's an example, so it's something I just made up on the spot. But you're highlighting a unique aspect to the home that's just listed. You're not going into too much detail. You're not going into the beds. You're not going into the square footage. You're not going into the amount of garage or car garages. So that is what we're doing there. And then headline, just listed. And then in the description, so you're seeing the ad formulate over here. Don't miss out. There we go. This is the part that I wanted to highlight. Remember, at the ad set level, we were selecting the page that was going to show up at the as the ad. So you see right here, Jaime Resendiz Realtor, and then you see sponsored. That page is still going to show up. However, you can actually send people to a different page. So if you want to have the conversation through another page, you can absolutely do that. So you just toggle that on, and then you select the page that you want to have the conversation from. So that is unique. That is different. That's something that was not always the case. This is a great way if you wanted to compile all of your conversations via one page, one business page. It doesn't have to be this one. You can do that. If you wanted to will basically combine all of your campaigns in one place. This is how you do that. So that's something unique that has not happened in the past. So I really wanted to illustrate that for you. And then the call to action. I've yet to see an example of where I don't do this, but I always do learn more. Now you could put send message, that's okay, but you could put whatever call to action you want. But for me, I don't know what it is about it. Maybe I should split test it and not be so set in my ways, but I go with learn more. That's what I do. So that's something that if you do something different, let me know in the comments section. I'd be interested in learning your results with that, but that's what I end up doing for the call to action. Now we get to the meat and potatoes of it. Up until now, the campaign objective really hasn't mattered. It looked very similar to everything else that you've seen. It looked very similar to the engagement ad. It looked very similar to a traffic campaign. It looked very similar to a lead generation campaign. But now, this is where the rubber meets the road. This is what actually makes it a messages campaign. Now, we're going to go through several iterations just so you see the scope of the messages campaign right here. So if we go to create, you're going to create new or use an existing one. So I'm going to go with create new, and you see the differences. Start conversations. Suggest prompts for people to tap to encourage them to start conversations with your business. Starting conversations, pretty self-explanatory. I'll come back to this. Collect information from people interested in your business and continue the conversation qualified leads directly in Messenger. And then customize your own template with JSON code in our code editor. So this is where you get a little bit more sophisticated. So you hear a lot about bots. This is where it factors in. So you've heard so many different things about messenger bots this, messenger bots that. That's what they're talking about. And you also have something that Facebook is continuing to expand its own offering, and you're going to see a version of that today. Start conversations. So every time you click preview, it's going to show up on your messenger. Now, I did not connect my phone to the Ecamm service that I have, which is Ecamm is what I'm using to share my screen. So I can't share my screen on my phone, unfortunately, because I forgot to do that. But that's okay. You're gonna get the full effect either way. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start conversations, and you're gonna see the greeting. You're gonna see what it looks like at the moment. Welcome people to the conversation after they tap into your ad. So after they click learn more, after they saw your ad, they want some additional information. You can leave it in text only mode, which is what you're seeing right here, or you can add an image to it. So you can put the text plus the image, and you can see here the dimensions and the image you want to add. So it's very customizable. And then or you could do a text and video. So you can say what you have to say or welcome them how you want to welcome them, and upload a video. Now notice that this is 25 MB, so this is not going to be a large video. You have to really be concise with your message. You don't expect to do an entire monologue and try to make the sale right then and there. It's just a pleasantry. That's what we're talking about. So, hi Jaime, please let us know how we can help you. Now you can change that however you want. We're not going to worry too much about the ad copy. I'm more interested in you seeing the functionality when it comes to this type of campaign. Customer actions. Suggest questions or reply for customers to tap or use a button to send people to your site. So you see quick replies right here. Oh, yeah. So everything else was grayed out. So you see frequently asked questions buttons. Now the reason it's grayed out is because we selected text and video. When you go back to text, you're gonna see that these open up. So you're gonna have when it comes to responses, you're gonna have more opportunities or more flexibility by going with text only. And one of the questions that's going to come up is, well, which one should I use? Just depends on what you're trying to illustrate. Text only is fine. Most of the cases it's fine. I would much rather have more functionality than worry about an image or worry about a video in most instances. Now if you go to frequently asked questions, I'm interested, can you tell me more? And then you can have automated response. So once they keep in mind, they're the ones that are clicking here. So I'm interested, tell me more. You could put a response, my pleasure, give me 1 second. So can I speak with an agent? Absolutely. Here's my number. And you can put the phone number right there. Are there any new properties available? Yes, there are. And you can put a saved search if you wanted to. So keep in mind, this is to continue the conversation or create the conversation. This is a conversation starter. This is not designed necessarily to get you their contact information. This is just, they saw your ad, they were interested enough, so they did some quick hits here, and you're in a conversation. So you have to be quick to the phone and start messaging back and forth and nurture that conversation. Alrighty, so that's what the frequently asked questions does. Quick replies, very similar to this. So you see the quick reply right here. I'd like to learn more. And then the automated, you can do no response or text. Buttons, you can put a button right here and send them off to another site if you so chose. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're not gonna worry about this right now. So remember where we came from. I want to keep this as simple as possible. This is not gonna be the more complex video on this. I just want you to see the capabilities, and then you can kind of start wherever you feel most comfortable. But I want to show you the generate leads option. We were just starting conversations. However, now we are seeking to collect information from people. So when we click create, I'm going to take you over to the advanced tab, even though we're not going to do much, but you see the template name, confirmation to pause questions. You've paused our automated questions. Let us know how we can help. Almost there. Finish answering our questions. So this is if they start a conversation with you and then they didn't finish the flow that you gave them, then hey, a reminder, hey, you haven't finished the questions that I'm asking you, so please get to that. Alrighty. Again, we're not going to mess too much with this because I want to make sure that you take action. I don't want to cause any friction and any excuses not to act. So we're going to go to content. So intro, Jaime. Hi, Jaime. Please answer a few questions so we can get to better know you. Alrighty. And you can see right here, you can add an emoji, add an image, add a video, insert personalization. So you can insert different aspects. If you want to do the full name, if you want to do something else, you can certainly do that. All right. So text, want to get started. And then you see the options. Yes. So what's going to be the next question? People who chose this answer go to the next question. People who chose this answer go directly to completion message. People who chose this answer go directly to this qualification message. They did not count as leads. So notice how this kind of already does some filtering for you. I see a lot of gears churning for you. Not now. So again, you can put them to disqualification. If they don't want to move forward with you, okay. If they click not now, then they're disqualified. They're not a lead. You can accept other answers if you want. So you see here, city, text, what city do you live in? You can allow to skip, or you can make it a mandatory thing. And you can change this however you want. You can make that the first question. Oops, it didn't change. That's because I wasn't up far enough. All right, there you go. So you can make that the first question if you want. Hey, where do you live? And qualify them there. There's just so much that you can do with this. You can add a question if you so want. If you want to do something about if you want to ask for the email, you can certainly do that at that moment. What's your email address? And then allow to skip if you want, if you're not interested in the email, although I would suggest that you are. And then the completion message. So a lot of you are asking, what's the completion message? Well, once they go through your flow, once you ask the questions that you wanted to ask that are pertinent to your business, you can say, thanks for answering our questions. We'll contact you to let you know what happens next. And then download, view website, all that other stuff. Disqualified. Thank you for your interest, but it doesn't look like we're a good fit at this time. So you can soften that, especially if they say no right off the bat. Want to get started? If they say not now, then you might want to soften that language. And it's going to ask you to accept the lead terms in the terms for the website, for Facebook. So make sure that you do that. But this is, again, just to put this in the context, because we can go down so many different rabbit holes. I just want to show you the functionality. We're talking about generating leads. We're not going to go into the advanced setup right now. I want to keep this as simple as possible, so we're taking action. But that's basically the messages campaign. That's the messages objective, to help you collect information in a different way, have conversations with individuals in a different way. The big benefit of running a messages campaign is that when people are clicking on your ad, you actually see their real profile. So you see if it's a bot that's clicking on your ads, well, you're gonna see the bot on the other end, and it's very easy to identify a bot at this time. If it's a real person, you get to see the person from a social media lens, so that's a huge benefit to you. Then all you have to do is press publish, and then you're on your way. That's how you do a messages campaign. If there's any questions, please feel free to drop them down below. I'll see you on the next one.